Hi, I'm Matt Mahler with MovieWeb. It's a pleasure. Oh, it's a pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you.
Hello,
Hi,
bonjour.
nice to meet
This
you.
is such a cool show, but also says so much about loneliness and its relationship to technology. And you just keep wanting to watch after every finale. I love your character, Rashida. She's very complicated. She sort of came to Japan with this glorified vision of loneliness in a way, but she abandons that when she meets Masa and starts a family. Could you talk about that contradiction and how that sort of plays out with her character?
Yeah, I think, there is this sort of thing people say that you keep inviting the lessons you need to learn into your life and Suzie running away from her life to sort of like, delve deeper into her own loneliness to go to Japan and then upon arrival immediately meeting a guy who does just that. He disrupts this this kind of idyllic idea of loneliness because he's suffered it the worst you possibly can, Hikikomori, and she's romanticized it. And he's like, it's not romantic. And then that person being, not the cure to her loneliness, but a way kind of out of this path that she's decided is the only path for her. I mean, it is kind of like if there's a destiny there. And then, the show starting with that thing that was kind of her salvation being in question, being gone, and also being fully brought into question because she's not even sure who he was anymore. So she gave herself over and abandoned this kind of like romantic ideal, and now it's all gone. And once again, she's like confronted with like this big lesson, which is like, can she depend on other people and sometimes robots to to help her, discover the truth about her husband's past and maybe even, help her connect in a way that she thought she never would again.
Yeah, beautiful. Hidetoshi, you have a movie star presence. You elevate everything you're in, and I was surprised this is your first uh, Western project, from what I read. The first time you acted in English. I would think you've been asked to do it before. I could be wrong, but why did you choose Sunny to be the first, and do you plan to keep doing it again?
そうですね。まあ、まず脚本を読んで、
Well, first it was the script, and I felt this was possibly something that no one has seen before. It's a sci-fi, it's a profoundly deep human drama. It's about interpersonal relationships and our relationships with AI and robots as we step into the future. It's a dark comedy as well. And maybe there's a hope that we can find that could be a solution to what we're struggling with now. And also, of course, the big component was Rashida, her talent, of course, but even more than that, it was her humanity and a big heart that made me want to be part of this.
Yeah, it's a lovely result, this international production, but also this combination not just of culture but of genre, all these different things. I asked Annie the Clumsy and Joanna how to sort of distill it or summarize it, and it's surprisingly difficult. How would you sort of describe Sunny to someone, Rashida?
Yeah, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. But I think it's this kind of like, it's like a dark, humorous fairy tale set in near future Japan about a woman dealing with loss and grief and contending with a robot that is kind of like thrusted onto her that she ends up forging a friendship with or depending on to like to pursue this mystery around her husband's real identity and why she's being chased. But it's also about, as you said, it's about loneliness and grief and connection and I think the distillation is humanity, like whether it's, people being able to connect with each other or, this like robot presence being a hindrance or like maybe a tool in connecting with each other or feeling connected?
Yeah, like technology, it could be either way, depending on how we use it. Hidetoshi, you uh, like I said, this is a Western sort of production, but it's so naturally, it feels so lived in. And Colin O'Sullivan, I think, who wrote the book, he lives in Japan. It feels very real. Does it reflect sort of the Japan that you know? I mean, obviously, it's more specific to Kyoto, but does it feel like a real reflection of Japan to you, either in the way it looks at loneliness or culture or technology?
今回本物の京都の真ん中で撮影
And we actually did shoot in real center of Kyoto. I'm a Japanese actor, did a lot of shoots, but it's my very first time to be able to shoot in the center of Kyoto. And this was possible because the crew of this show really showed respect to the Japanese culture. And the Japanese people really felt that and allowed us to do so. And for the Japanese people, even for the Japanese culture is very complicated. The Japanese old culture. And the more we dig deeper, we do discover new values. And
が生まれてくるような
sometimes there are elements, maybe we create new values in this modern time from digging deep into our old culture. So there's still a lot of mystery towards our culture, even as being Japanese. And we have the Western people, the Western perspective, through a Western perspective, you're
できてるんじゃない
seeing a different value. Maybe we're able to dig something from a very different perspective, discover something very different. So through this show, of course, there are exaggerations, and it's we're talking about the future. So we're talking about there are portrayals of what may happen in the future, but you do feel that the Japan portrait is very real.
Yeah, another set of eyes can reveal something you know yourself. Thank you so much for discussing this. It's a very lovely show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks for your
you.
thoughtful questions.